So last night, the Republican candidate won the special election in Tennessee. And while that wasn't the result that we were hoping for, the margins, they clearly show that Democrats can actually compete in areas that used to be heavily ruby red MAGA. Now, I want to be crystal clear. You've heard me say it a million times on this show and elsewhere. This is why Democrats cannot afford to take their foot off the gas. All right. This is why we have to continue to stay vigilant, to stay active, to stay loud. All right. And despite the win for Trump, other GOP leaders are actually flushing that advantage down the drain. Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. And again, thank you. We're getting there. We're literally less than 5,000 subscribers away from our 500,000 mark. So do me a favor, hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share, because the stupidity you're going to hear in this episode, it's boundless. Now, again, while the GOP leaders should be focusing on the midterms, they continue to go on TV and literally make fools out of themselves and their party. Laura Ingraham, for example, spoke with FBI Director Kash Patel, one of the biggest fools in this administration, on her show, asking him about the Democrats wanting to investigate the usage of the FBI jet for his girlfriend. Play the clip.
And the Democrats are also, Mr. Director, supposedly going to investigate your use of the FBI jet, because they're claiming you've commandeered it for personal joyrides, going to a wrestling event, I guess, for your girlfriend. Is that true? And if so, if the Biden team did something like that, if it was true, I'd probably be hitting them tonight on television. But I thought I'd give you a chance to respond to that drive-by.
Yeah. It's simple. The FBI director, all FBI directors are required users of the FBI plane. They don't let me fly commercially. But my predecessors wasted millions of dollars because they were too lazy to drive an extra 20 minutes and go to Andrews Air Force Base. They used DC Reagan National as their personal hub, costing the taxpayer $4 million. I shut that policy off and mandated the use of government airfields. I've also used the airplane less than my prior two predecessors. And yes, I'm entitled to a personal life just like my other agency had counterparts with their partners. So do I support my girlfriend? Absolutely. And do I take trips with her? Absolutely. But when they're talking about raid jackets and Velcro and FBI plane use, they are not talking about the facts, because they know this FBI is succeeding in ways prior leadership failed. And those cronies will always stick together and, of course, band together with their enemies to come in and attack us. And our mission here is to protect the American people.
Again, great wordsmith, great word vomit salad, great whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, that's not the question that she's asking. You do not have the right within which to use the FBI airplane at the taxpayer's dollar for your personal life. That's what's called service to country. It's not that we're supposed to provide you with free transportation and free access to hotels and food and so on. We get it. You're trying to do some type of job, whether you want to believe that it's the greatest job an FBI director has ever done, or like most of us, we believe the worst. That's not the point here. Answer the simple question. See, they won't, because trust me, if this was going on in the Biden administration or in any Democratic administration, Laura Ingraham, as she said before she started to laugh and to giggle like a schoolgirl, would be all over them. Now, she also asked Patel about the elusive Epstein files. Wait till you hear this response. Play the clip.
Mr. Director, our viewers also are they're chomping at the bit on why it took the Epstein files so long to be released. Any regrets there? Was that an unforced error? Just should we have gotten them out earlier? Just get them all out there? Just thought I'd give you a chance to react to that.
Yeah, look, this FBI has produced 40,000 pages of documents to Congress. To put that in comparison, Ray put out 13,000 in 7 years, and Comey put out 3,000. We're committed to transparency. We're putting out as much as we can that is lawful and that is not prohibited by court orders. And those are the things the DOJ is fighting still with judges in court to make sure we can reveal everything without breaking the law. And that's what we're committed to doing. We're doing it as fast as we can, and we're going to keep doing it, not just on this, but you know about Arctic frost because of this FBI's discovery of the illegal surveillance of senators and staffers. You know about Russiagate because of mine and Devin's work from back in day. And we're going to continue those investigations. And you bet we have ongoing criminal investigations on both those fronts, because the guy who launched Russiagate, me as a senior staffer back in House Intel, is now the director of the FBI. And I'm not going to end this mission without destroying and leveling the full weaponization that occurred before I got here.
Finally, I know you got to
Wait, hold on just one quick second. Did you once again hear Patel's answer? We're talking about the release of the Epstein file, and he makes up a story that there are court orders that are prohibiting parts of these documents from being released. That's not true. In fact, we all know that there is a court order that says that within 30 days from the signing by the President of the United States to release the files, that they must be turned over. Somehow or another, it turns into Russiagate all over, simply because they don't want to answer the simple question that they are being directed, whether it's by the Attorney General, by the President himself, by someone, that he is being directed, and I'm referring to Kash Patel, not to have turned over files, plain and simple. It is the same directive that Pam Bondi was using, which is why they didn't turn it over. Remember the old nothing to see here? Now, mind you, a new MAGA deflection tactic is saying that you don't know anything about the topic. Can't tell you how many times we keep hearing that. Senator Roger Marshall, he used this tactic to avoid answering questions about the pardon of the former president of Honduras. Play that clip.
But more so, you just, rightly outlined the dangers posed by drugs. So what explanation do you have for President Trump offering a pardon to the former president of Honduras, who prosecutors said ran a massive drug cartel, including sending tons and tons of it to the United States?
Yeah, I don't know the details of that particular pardon. Happy to look into it, but I just can't really speak to it.
All right, Republican.
Okay. All right. So, no thought on the fact that he was pardoned?
Well, again, I think it's unfair to, without me researching the details of that pardon, to give you any type of an answer. I'm a doctor. If you ask me a question, I don't have a good answer or a factual answer, I'm going to say I don't know. I'm happy to go research it.
Yeah, then why did you come on television? Here's the funniest thing. It is a line that is used over and over and over again. In fact, Pete Hegseth right now is using the same exact line. Oh, I didn't know, I stepped out of the room regarding the double tap. How many times have we seen the president, for example, on Air Force One? Here, let me give you a personal one. How about, I know nothing about the hush money payment. You have to ask my lawyer, Michael. He knows about it. Or I know nothing about the double tap strike that killed these two individuals or three individuals that were hanging on to wreckage. You're going to have to ask Pete Hegseth about it. It is the easiest line to use. I don't have enough details on it, so why don't you get back to me? How about this one? Okay, why don't you go ahead and why don't you go review it and come back in an hour and let me know your thoughts. See if there's any chance that this guy's going to show back up. The answer, of course, no. Meanwhile, MAGA Mike Johnson, again, using the same tactic, saying he also didn't know anything about the pardon. Pattern? I think so. Play the clip.
Pardon the former president of Honduras who's been convicted of major drug crimes, big drug trafficking. Are you okay with that?
I don't know anything about that president. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it. I haven't read into it yet.
He was charged
this morning.
45 years he was charged with major crimes.
The president has the ability to advocate on behalf of anyone he wants. It's not really my issue.
This morning, the Energy and Commerce Committee held a hearing.
It's not your issue. You're asked a question, Speaker of the House. Question, of course, is, what do you think about Trump pardoning this former president of Honduras, who was charged, literally charged, got 45 years for drug smuggling much of the drugs ended up in the United States of America. So either take the position that these strikes in Venezuela or whatever else is going on land that maybe we don't know about either is okay because we're ridding the world and America of drugs, or it's not. You can't have it both ways. Now, look, as we know, Fox, they will always be there to defend Trump. And Kayleigh McEnany claimed that Trump laid out an affordability plan in the cabinet meeting yesterday. Now, it's funny because I watched the whole thing. I actually didn't see not just a plan regarding affordability. I didn't see any plan. I saw a lot of ass kissing, just no plans. Play the clip.
So what do Republicans need to do?
Republicans need to show their work. And you saw that today with President Trump in the Oval Office cabinet meeting. You saw everyone speak, and you saw several of the cabinet members lay out their affordability plan. I've spoken to several, Doug Burgum, who says, I've unleashed 34 leases to drill. That's bringing down gas prices. Then I go.
Yeah, that's not a plan. Kayleigh, I know Kayleigh McEnany. She's not dumb. So why give such a stupid answer? Now, what I did see yesterday was an absolute racist tirade from Trump about Somalians. Play that clip.
Now I'm understanding, and you're going to look at that's. I hear they ripped off Somalians, ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country is no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too.
You know, as somebody that sat next to this guy for a decade and a half, I got to tell you, I don't know who's feeding this crap into his head or why he's taking it, but he doesn't believe a single word that's coming out of his mouth. Whatever it is, though, it is coming out of his mouth, and it is racist. Doesn't stop with just Trump. Monkey see, monkey do. Here comes Representative Tom Emmer, who followed suit. Why would anybody follow suit with a ridiculous comment like that and push the racist lies on TV even further? Play the clip.
Group. But you know what we're not talking about today? Do you realize that, it's not that all Somalis are committing crimes, but 80% of the crimes being committed in the Twin Cities in Minnesota are being committed by Somalis. And
I mean, again, here comes more. Representative Kat Kumarak took it even a step further. Again, why? Ignoring America's history, a long history of being a melting pot of all the world's people. Play the clip.
And it's pretty staggering when you take a step back and you realize that today, 1 in 6 people here in the United States is foreign born. 1 in 6. That, quite frankly, is not sustainable to maintain a culture that we are known for here in the United States. When you have people who, instead of assimilating into our culture, are opting to basically import their culture, many cases that culture is one of fraud and schemes and scams and violence, you erode the underfoot of what America is all about. And so...
Yeah. All right. Listen up here, Kat. Let me be clear. 1 in 6 are not born in this country. Well, my wife wasn't born in this country. She was born in Ukraine. Oh my God, you know who wasn't born in this country either? You schmuck. Your first lady. She wasn't born in this country either. And finally, I want to end on a clip of GOP leader who sometimes gets it. Sometimes. And I'm talking about Senator Rand Paul, who basically came out there and called Pete Hegseth exactly what we're all calling him, a liar. Play the clip.
In this sense, it looks to me like they're trying to pin the blame on somebody else and not them. There's a very distinct statement was said on Sunday Secretary Hicks said he had no knowledge of this and it did not happen. It was fake news. It didn't happen. And then the next day from the podium at the White House, they're saying it did happen. So either he was lying to us on Sunday or he's incompetent and didn't know it had happened. Do we think there's any chance that on Sunday the Secretary of the Defense did not know there had been a second strike?
I totally agree. I mean, finally, they're coming out and they're saying the things that everybody in this country already knows. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.